Most people think they're choosing how to spend their money. They're not. There's a script running in the background of your brain right now. You didn't write it. It was installed before you turned 10, mostly by people who weren't wealthy either. And that script makes the majority of your financial decisions for you, in advance, before the conscious part of your brain even shows up to the meeting. It decides whether you see investing as smart or scary, whether you see debt as a tool or a trap, whether you see rich people as inspiring or suspicious, whether you tick generously or guarded, whether you save the bonus or spend it, whether you ask for the raise or wait for it to be offered. The strange part? You think you're making those calls. You're not. Your script is. The people you know who quietly got rich aren't smarter than you. They didn't have some secret advantage you weren't told about. They just figured out the script was running, found the lines that were broken, and started rewriting the code. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the 7 biggest rewrites that separate the people who build wealth from the people who keep wondering why they can't. Here is Jack. He spent more time than is probably healthy studying the psychology of money, what people believe about it, where those beliefs come from, and why most of those beliefs are quietly costing them their lives. If that interests you, hit subscribe. This is the kind of stuff I make every week. Section 1. What a money script actually is. Quick context, because this is going to make everything else click. In the early 2010s, a financial psychologist named Dr. Brad Klontz coined a term, money scripts. Unconscious beliefs about money, formed mostly in childhood, that drive your financial behavior for the rest of your adult life. His research identified 4 broken scripts that most people run on without realizing. Money avoidance. You believe money is dirty, corrupting, or for other people. You feel guilty when you have it. You undercharge. You don't negotiate. Money worship. You believe more money will solve all your problems. There's never enough. You chase income but never feel safe. Money status. You believe your worth is what you can be seen with. You buy what looks like wealth, not what creates it. Money vigilance. You believe money must be hoarded and protected at all costs. You save obsessively. You're scared to invest. If you're being honest with yourself, you're probably running at least 2 of those right now. And you got them from a parent, a grandparent, a culture, or a class environment that you had no say in. The wealthy didn't escape this. They got the same broken scripts as everyone else. They just edited the lines. Here's how. That's not your fault, but it is your problem now, because every script that's been running unedited since you were 9 years old is a script that's been making decisions for an adult. Walk into the average home and ask the owner what their assets are. They'll point at a car, a watch, sometimes a degree. They're wrong about all 3. A real asset has exactly one job. It pays you. Money flows from it, not to it. Anything that costs you to maintain, insure, repair, replace, or upgrade is a liability dressed up as success. The car you're proud of is taking $400 a month from you in payments, plus insurance, plus gas, plus maintenance, plus the silent 15% it depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot. That's not an asset. That's a subscription to a feeling. The wealthy ask one quiet question before they buy anything. Does this generate cash or consume it? That's it. If it generates cash, they want more of it. If it consumes cash, they either avoid it or pay for it with the cash that the generating things produce. This is why you'll meet someone with a net worth of $4 million driving a 2014 Toyota and someone earning $58,000 a year financing a 2025 truck they can't actually afford. They're not running different lifestyles. They're running different scripts. The rewrite is one line. Before you buy, ask whether this puts $1 in your pocket or pulls one out. Then act accordingly. Pull up the last 5 financial decisions you made and ask, what time horizon were they built for? If you're like most people, the answer is this paycheck or by the end of the year. That's not a financial life. That's a survival pattern. The wealthy think in 10-year blocks. Sometimes 20, sometimes 40. They're not making decisions based on what feels manageable this Friday. They're making decisions based on the version of themselves that exists in 2046. That sounds extreme until you realize this is the only time horizon at which compound interest actually becomes visible. Compound growth is invisible in months. It's barely noticeable in years. It's life-changing in decades. Anyone making financial decisions on a monthly timescale is, by definition, opting out of the single force that builds long-term wealth. The cleanest way to install this rewrite: before any non-essential purchase, ask yourself what the same money would be worth in 25 years if invested at market average. The answer is usually around 8 times what you're about to spend. That doesn't mean don't buy things. It means know what you're trading when you do. Rewrite number 3. Risk is the opposite of what you think it is. This one genuinely breaks people the first time they actually sit with it. Most people believe keeping money in a savings account is safe and investing it is risky. That belief, exactly that single line of code, is the most expensive idea installed in the average person's head. If your savings account pays 0.5% and inflation runs at 3%, your money loses about 2.5% of its purchasing power every single year. After 10 years, the same dollars buy roughly 22% less than they used to. That's not safe. That's a slow-motion mugging happening with your full participation. Meanwhile, the broad U.S. stock market has averaged near 10% annual returns over the last century. Through the Great Depression, 2 world wars, 1970s stagflation, the dot-com crash, 2008, and a global pandemic. Over essentially any 20-year window in that history, broad market index investors made money. The wealthy don't see investing as the risky choice. They see not investing as the only guaranteed way to lose. The risk isn't in moving your money. The risk is standing still while the world keeps charging more for the same loaf of bread. The rewrite: doing nothing with your money is doing something, and what it's doing is making you poorer. Rewrite number 4. Stop trading hours. Start owning systems. Most people are stuck in a model with a built-in ceiling. Hours for dollars. You can sell 40 hours. You can sell 60. You can sell 80. At some point, you run out of body. The math of trading time will always have a roof, because time itself does. The wealthy figured out something almost embarrassing in its simplicity. The way out isn't earning more per hour. It's separating income from hours entirely. This is what they actually mean when they talk about passive income. Not zero work. That's a fantasy peddled by people selling courses. They mean income that isn't priced per hour. A book that sells while you sleep, a rental property paying rent while you're on vacation, a dividend portfolio paying you for owning, not for working, a small business with employees handling fulfillment while you handle direction. You don't need to start a unicorn company to install this rewrite. You need one stream of income that doesn't punch a clock, then a second, then a third. The wealthy aren't lazy. They just stopped renting their hours by the unit. The line of code: if my income depends entirely on my time being present, I have a job, not a financial life. Rewrite number 5. The tax code is a behavior manual. Most people read the tax code, when they read it at all, as a list of things being taken from them. The wealthy read it as something completely different, a list of behaviors the government wants to encourage, with cash rewards attached. Why does the government give massive tax breaks to people who own businesses, invest in real estate, and contribute to retirement accounts? Because the government wants more of those things to happen. So they pay you to do them. in the form of deductions, credits, and tax-deferred growth. That's not a loophole. That's not cheating. That's the system working exactly as designed. The reason wealthy people pay lower effective tax rates than most W-2 employees isn't because they have secret accountants, although they have great ones. It's because they earn their money in the categories the tax code rewards: capital gains, long-term investments, business ownership, real estate. The W-2 paycheck is the most heavily taxed category of income in the entire system, and most people earn 100% of their income from exactly that source, then complain the system isn't fair. The rewrite isn't evade taxes. It's earn money in categories the system was built to reward. Rewrite number 6. You are not a solo operation. Poor scripts treat asking for help as weakness. Wealthy scripts treat doing everything yourself as inefficient. The richest people you'll ever meet don't manage their own portfolios. They don't file their own taxes. They don't write their own contracts. They don't diagnose their own legal questions. Some of them don't even buy their own groceries. This isn't laziness. It's leverage. Every hour they don't spend on something they're bad at is an hour they spend on the 1 or 2 things they're great at. And those 1 or 2 things are what actually produce their wealth. The poor script says, I'll figure it out myself so I don't have to pay anyone. The wealthy script says, I'll pay someone $200 to save me 5 hours, and I'll use those 5 hours to make $2,000. Same human, same 24-hour day, different code. The line, doing it yourself is rarely the cheap option. It usually just feels cheap because the cost is hidden in your time. Rewrite number 7. Money is meant to move. This is the most important rewrite of all 7, and almost nobody talks about it directly. Most people treat money like a pet rock. They want a number to look at. They want a balance to feel proud of. So they save and save and save and feel responsible while their money sits there quietly decaying. The wealthy understand something almost the opposite. Money in motion creates more money. Money at rest creates nothing. Static dollars are dying dollars. So they're constantly cycling capital. Cash from a job feeds an investment account. Returns from investments fund another investment. Equity in one property gets refinanced into the down payment for the next one. Profits from a business get reinvested into systems that grow the business. Money is moving, multiplying, compounding, working. Every dollar with a job, none on the bench. That's not the same as reckless. The wealthy aren't gambling. They understand the difference between idle money and stupid money. But they also understand that safe money sitting in a 0.5% account is just a slower way of losing. The rewrite in one sentence: a dollar that isn't earning is decaying. There's no third option. If I had to compress all 7 rewrites into a single line, it would be this: the wealthy aren't winning a different game. They're playing the same game with different code installed. Most people will watch this video, feel something, maybe even write down a few of the lines, and then go right back to running the exact script that was installed before they were old enough to spell 401k. That's not pessimism, that's the default. Behavior change is hard, and your old script will fight to stay in place because it's the only one you've ever known. Familiarity feels like truth, even when it's quietly bankrupting you. But for the small group of people who actually go back through and rewrite even 2 or 3 of these lines, the results compound. Not in a year, not in 5, in a decade, in a lifetime. The script running in your head is older than you. You inherited it. You didn't choose it. You don't have to keep running it. If this clicked, hit subscribe. I make a video like this every week, pulling apart the beliefs about money that most people inherit and never examine. And one question for the comments. Out of those 4 broken scripts, money avoidance, money worship, money status, money vigilance, which one were you raised on? I'll go first. Mine was vigilance. Took me almost 10 years to spot it. Drop yours below